the pregnant specimen. This is the moment where the CT scans stop raising questions and start demanding them. When the body known as Montserrat entered the scanner, researchers weren't expecting anything beyond the injuries already documented. What they found instead is the reason this case refuses to go away. Inside the ribcage, beneath layers of compacted tissue and mineralization, CT imaging revealed a smaller body. Not debris, not random material. A fetal-shaped structure, positioned exactly where a developing organism would be. Look at the image, and your brain recognizes it immediately. Limbs, skull, proportions matching the same tridactyl anatomy seen in the adult specimens. According to investigator Joyce Mantilla, this was one of the most important proofs of authenticity. Because creating a staged mummy with a fetus would require precision even professional forensic fabricators struggle to replicate. You can fake an exterior, but faking a pregnancy that shows up coherently on CT scans, with matching bone density and growth patterns, is another level entirely. The fetal structure showed no signs of being carved, assembled, or glued. No irregular seams, no abrupt density changes, just a scaled-down skeleton inside a larger one, aligned with the curvature of the interior torso. Think about what this means for the hoax theory. Someone would have had to source or create a miniature tridactyl skeleton, position it anatomically correctly inside an adult specimen, ensure the bone density matched developmental stages, and do all of this knowing it would only be visible through advanced medical imaging. Let's put this in perspective. Modern forensic sculptors and museum fabricators can create convincing external replicas of ancient remains. They can match skin texture, simulate mummification, and even add artificial trauma marks. But none of that survives CT scanning. The moment you slice through layer by layer, fabrication reveals itself with density mismatches, structural gaps, and material transitions. The pregnant specimen showed none of these telltale signs. The fetal bones displayed the same mineral composition as the adult skeleton. The positioning followed biological logic. Even the scale was proportionally accurate, suggesting either genuine development or a level of anatomical knowledge that raises its own uncomfortable questions. This is why phrases like alien mummies found in Peru keep circulating. Not because experts are claiming extraterrestrials, but because the evidence doesn't map cleanly onto any known species, known medical conditions, or known cultural practices. The pregnant specimen, combined with the trauma patterns, the metallic implants, the anatomical consistency, and the carbon dating, all point toward beings that were alive, injured, and preserved in ways that kept internal structures intact for over a millennium. But as the evidence grew stranger, the backlash grew louder. And the fight over who controls the specimens has turned into a battle that's stalling the entire investigation. The jurisdictional war. If you want to understand why this investigation keeps stalling, it isn't the CT scans themselves. It's the fight over who gets to test the bodies. Everything starts with a problem Peru has battled for decades: antiquities trafficking. The Nazca Desert is one of the driest regions on Earth, which makes it a perfect preservation environment. That also makes it a prime target for tomb raiders who extract and sell whatever they find. Leandro Rivera admitted to removing around 200 specimens from caves in the area. That number alone triggered alarms inside Peru's Ministry of Culture, which works to stop illegal removal of archaeological materials. From the ministry's perspective, anything coming through a smuggling chain is legally compromised and scientifically contaminated. If the chain of custody is broken, they view the specimens as damaged evidence. But here's the complication. The ministry's previous examinations, where they declared some seized items fake, were not conducted on the bodies that underwent advanced CT imaging. Those earlier fakes were assembled dolls made from animal bones, glue, and modern materials. The bodies in the CT labs were different specimens entirely. That distinction created tension between institutions, both claiming to protect Peru's heritage. San Luis Gonzaga National University took possession of several tridactyl bodies and oversaw imaging and testing. Their researchers, along with foreign specialists, pushed for deeper DNA sequencing, multi-institutional verification, and metallurgical analysis. But the ministry took a hard line. arguing the university couldn't legally conduct such studies without state authorization. This turned into a jurisdictional stalemate. Scientists wanted access, the ministry wanted control, and the public saw nothing but contradictory announcements. Understand what's at stake here. Peru has legitimate reasons for protective laws around archaeological materials. The country has lost countless irreplaceable artifacts to black market trafficking, but those same protective instincts can inadvertently block legitimate research. When the university researchers argued for international collaboration and peer review, the ministry interpreted it as an attempt to circumvent Peruvian sovereignty. When the ministry demanded control over all testing protocols, researchers saw it as politically motivated suppression of inconvenient findings. Both sides believe they're protecting Peru's interests, but the deadlock means the specimens sit in legal limbo, while the scientific questions remain unanswered. Even independent analysts who want clarity can't get samples without stepping into a legal minefield. You can't solve a mystery if the people holding the evidence and the people capable of testing it aren't allowed in the same room. The case didn't stall because interest faded. It stalled because no one agrees on who has the right to reveal the truth. And until that changes, we're left with what the CT scans already show, and one final question you'll need to consider before this story ends. What the evidence actually reveals. Strip away the headlines, the arguments, and the noise, and you're left with one thing: the scans themselves. CT imaging doesn't care about belief systems or online debates. It shows structure, density, and pattern. Here's what can be said with certainty. The CT scans show coherent anatomy across multiple bodies: tridactyl hands and feet, elongated skulls, vertebrae that articulate properly, rib cages that follow a consistent blueprint. None of it aligns with the animal bone puppet model skeptics used to describe earlier seized fakes. The trauma patterns are real. The injuries in Maria, Montserrat, and Antonio, cuts, punctures, and fractures, match events that occurred while the individuals were alive. You don't get that from a modern hoax. You get it from living tissue meeting force. The metallic components embedded in several bodies show up on CT as high-density plates with edges that appear integrated, not inserted as after-death tampering. The metallurgical findings: copper, cadmium, osmium, aluminum, gold, silver, over 95% purity, raise questions because they imply intention. Carbon dating places them roughly 1,200 to 1,600 years old, long before any modern workshop could imitate this level of internal consistency. Then there's the pregnant specimen, a collection of anatomical features and biological circumstances that don't map onto known species, known medical conditions, or known cultural practices. This is why researchers like Dr. Jose Zalche and Luis Montilla argue for an unknown hominin, a terrestrial branch we haven't cataloged yet. And it's why independent reviewers caution that unknown DNA doesn't automatically signal extraterrestrial origin. So where does that leave you? It leaves you with a dataset powerful enough to intrigue radiologists, provoke archaeologists, and frustrate government officials. It leaves you with images that resist simple explanations, no matter which direction you lean. It leaves you with bodies that were clearly alive, clearly injured, and clearly preserved in a way that kept their internal structures intact for over a millennium. Scientists are stunned because the CT scans revealed something strange in bodies found near the Nazca lines in Peru. Evidence that challenges existing understandings of ancient cultures and biological diversity. Whether these specimens represent an unknown hominin species, an elaborate cultural practice, or something else entirely, the imaging data demands further investigation. And it leaves you with a final reality. If the next round of unrestricted testing finally uncovers the truth about these bodies, the answer will likely be stranger than anyone expected. Because the CT scans have already shown us that much. What do you think the mummies are? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.